Welcome back to my channel at The Movie Optimist, where I try and find the silver linings in even the worst of films. This is kind of old news, but I wanted to briefly talk about it because it excites me to no end, and that's that Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are coming back for The Mummy 4. Now, not only are they coming back to reprise their roles as Rick O'Connell and his wife, but the Radio Silence guys are actually coming to direct it. And if you don't know those people, they're the people that have done Scream 5 and Scream 6. They also did Abigail. They were attached to do a remake of Escape from New York for a little while. I gotta admit, I'm a lot more excited for them doing this than that. For those of you who don't know, Indiana Jones is my favorite non-superhero franchise of all time. The mantle of that belongs to Batman, but otherwise, Indiana Jones has always been it. It was the thing that got me excited about blockbusters when I was a kid. The epic swashbuckling adventure of a hero beating up Nazis while trying to find treasure. It was these amazing practical sets with huge over-the-top action set pieces and one of the coolest characters in movie history in Indiana Jones. Now, as much as I loved Indiana Jones, I did not get to grow up with that being the pop culture zeitgeist in the world because The Last Crusade came out before I was even born. So my swashbuckling hero of choice was always Rick O'Connell, the Mummy movies. When those movies were coming out, I was going to theaters to see them and getting my fix of Indiana Jones. Now, are they as good as Indiana Jones? Nowhere near close. No, it's not even in the same atmosphere in terms of how close they are, but it's like the closest thing I've gotten to that feeling of a period piece took place back in the day, bunch of people raiding tombs, trying to find lost treasure, while your hero is this big over-the-top action hero battling, instead of Nazis, it's undead mummies. And it was fun, it was action-packed, it was thrilling, there was a good love story in it. It just had a recipe for a really good roller coaster of a ride of a movie, and I absolutely loved them. And I loved The Mummy Returns, where Dwayne Johnson got one of his first breakout roles as the Scorpion King, and that was really cool. And then we got The Mummy 3, Tomb of the Emperor's Dragon, and I choose to not talk about that one because holy shit was that a letdown. Apparently they're ignoring what happened in that one and claiming it's an Elseworlds story, and The Mummy 4 will be a direct continuation of The Mummy Returns, but then why not just call it Mummy 3? I mean, you're calling it Mummy 4, so people are gonna think I have to watch the first three. What's the third one? Oh, Tomb of the Emperor Dragon. And you should have just called it Mummy 3 and said that we're retconning the last one. But that's besides the point. A lot of people have been talking about how can Brendan Fraser do this? He's out of shape. He's almost 60. How is he going to do his own stunts? Well, the dude's clearly going to get back into shape. I mean, he's been losing weight for every new role he's done. I mean, going all the way back to when he was in Killers of the Flower Moon, when he was still very much so out of shape. And then he went into The Whale, where he was wearing a bodysuit. Obviously, he was not really that large, but he started losing weight right after the events of that film up until the point where he won his Oscar. And now he was in this new movie called Rental Family that I haven't seen yet, but I really want to because it looks really good. And he lost even more weight for that. So he's clearly on the path to like getting back in shape. And in terms of him being almost 60, you still have people like Tom Cruise jumping out of buildings. You have Sylvester Stallone still beating up bad guys in Tulsa King. You have Harrison Ford playing Indiana Jones in his 80s. If you really think about it, on one hand, he could just use a stunt double if the stunts are really that crazy. But on the other hand, for like the fight scenes, he's battling CGI monsters most of the time. So like he could just do that again. It's not like he's actually in any danger. It's not like the guy can't throw a punch at 57 years old. So I feel like a kid again knowing that this is coming. I feel like the kid in me has earned for this sequel a good sequel to The Mummy Returns since The Mummy Returns came out in theaters. And it's an itch that I know I'm never going to get with Indiana Jones because I've been waiting for a fantastic follow-up to The Last Crusade, and it wasn't Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and it wasn't The Dial of Destiny. Although I do think that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was better than The Dial of Destiny, and I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I feel that way because even though The Dial of Destiny had a better story, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull still had an Indiana Jones that felt like Indiana Jones. In The Dial of Destiny, he was like this bitter old man, and it wasn't the Indy that I know, and I guess it made sense for the story, but that's just not how I want to see him. In the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, he still felt like Indiana Jones. He had that energy to him, and he was younger, sure, but it just seemed like he wanted to be there, and it didn't really seem like he wanted to be there in The Dial of Destiny. And after The Dial of Destiny, Harrison Ford officially retired. So that's an itch that I'm never going to get scratched until the day I die. But it doesn't have to be that way with The Mummy because we're getting another one, and I am just so deliriously excited for it. I can't wait to see what the directors Radio Silence do. They've put out nothing but bangers. They haven't missed yet, and they claim that they love this franchise, and when you love something, you tend to do a better job at adapting it if you're a fan fan of the material and not just a hired director. So only time will tell, but I am super excited to see them come back and give us the closure that we deserve for this swashbuckling, tomb raiding couple. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for this? Are you as excited as I am? Or do you think that the franchise died with Tome of the Emperor Dragon? Are you missing swashbuckling adventures like this? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. And as always, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you next time.